everyone, and welcome to the GearyCast for the second time in a week. It's Alex Ashmore back to you again for, two times in a week. I think I've got to retire for the rest of the season after that. I am joined once again after our escapades earlier on in the week by Chris Marquez and Sergio making his second appearance on the GearyCast. Guys, how are we doing?
Very good. Prepared for another match week, and let's see if we can get something off a difficult ground.
Chris, how are you doing?
It feels like I've never been gone.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've spoken.
Yeah, a very long time.
And
for the people on YouTube, it's not that we've changed or anything. I mean, what day is it today? Thursday?
It's towards the weekend.
Yeah, it's towards the weekend.
Whenever you are,
not Tuesday.
If you are listening to this on match day,
Friday.
If you are listening to this on Friday evening, if you're perched on the sofa with a beer and you've got us on the telly, Luke Chambers, I can imagine that's how he will be watching it. We hope you've had a good week and you're looking forward to another weekend and hopefully another good weekend in the world of Malaga Club de Football. We're playing Real Oviedo this weekend, guys. Last week, of course, a 2-0 win against Racing de Ferrol. This week is a different challenge. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of how we're going to beat Oviedo and make a charge up the table and get promoted to La Liga next season, Javi Calleja, the Real Oviedo manager, has been sacked today with Oviedo 6th in the table on 51 points, 14 wins, 9 draws and 10 losses, 42 goals scored and 40 conceded. Your weird decision with them taking that last playoff spot?
Yeah, I don't really understand it, to be honest. I'm more for the replacement days being on the tables. I don't really get it. I think they were having a good season. I think they've been top twice or something like that. They're only 7 points away from second. That's Mirandes. So I don't really understand sacking a manager that's got experience in the league. He's got experience in Spanish football. So very controversial one. And I don't think the Real Oviedo fans are happy with that.
And, well, to give listeners a little bit of an idea, if you don't watch Real Oviedo week in, week out, they've lost 3 of their last 4, and they've only picked up 2 wins from their last 8. Now, at the time of recording this, and this will give away perhaps what day we recorded this podcast, the new manager hasn't been confirmed, but all eyes are pointing towards Veljko Paunovic, Serbian national, who has managed Tigres, Guadalajara, Reading and Chicago Fire. But Chris, before I come on to the Serbian appointment for Real Oviedo, are you perplexed by their decision to sack? I mean, perhaps also I want to link it to Malaga in a little bit. Our first season back in Segunda, when we brought in Victor Sanchez del Amo around April, I believe it was, when we were doing quite well. Is this a similar situation, or do you think they've made a mistake here?
It's not a very similar situation. Because the reason why Victor Sanchez del Amo was sacked, really,
when he was brought in, I mean.
Oh, when he was brought in, yeah, okay. Because when he was sacked, it was for another reason.
That's another
podcast, I think.
Done before multiple times.
Yeah, it could happen to anyone, though.
It could, but unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's why we have these cameras where you have these slides, right? To put in front of your camera when you're
exactly.
I know people who put stickers in front of the camera. You should just always close your laptop. Let's say that.
Yes. Careful at home, folks.
Yeah. He had his hands full that week.
Nothing changes, does it, Chris?
but nothing should change either.
No. Well, talking of changes, Javi Calleja, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I find it a bit silly, isn't it? And maybe what they're trying to do is with the new manager to get the focus back. I mean, we don't know what happened. So maybe if the players don't believe in the manager anymore, I mean, you know how that goes in football. It's easy to get to the board and say, "Hey, listen, we don't really have confidence in this manager anymore." Uh, I think the place they're in is not a bad spot, and I think they've played very attractive football, and I think they have a great team. So I'm not sure what really is going on, but if that really is the is going to be the new manager, the what was his name? Vucelic?
Veljko Paunovic. And for
Paunovic.
any Serbians listening, I do apologize if I'm not getting that pronunciation 100% correct.
When I look at his managerial career, it's not very great, is it?
No,
I mean, you
it,
said Chicago, you said Tigres.
he's managed Tigres, his most recent club being Tigres, Guadalajara, Reading, and Chicago Fire. And I hear you asking, Alex, Real Oviedo must have appointed him because he's a serial winner as a manager. No, his only trophy was the Under-20 World Cup for Serbia, which I guess in an achievement of its own is quite impressive, but no success at club level. He's never managed in Spanish football. Sorry, he's obviously played whole of his career in Spanish football, playing for the likes of Atletico Madrid, Getafe, and Atletico Marbella towards the beginning. But Sergio, this feels like, to me, a decision they'll come to regret, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly what's going on indoors, but they're owned by a Mexican group, so maybe I don't know. It's a little bit strange after he managed two Mexican clubs. I don't know if it's something related with that, but
Pablo became champion in Mexico.
oh yeah, but I don't know. It's a strange
didn't work
decision
out.
of putting him in a side that's in playoff spot in Spain where you never managed. So I don't know. I find it really strange, to be honest.
And of course, it comes at a time where Malaga do face Real Oviedo this weekend. Last time out, when Javi Calleja was the manager, it was a 0-0 draw. And of course, just before we came on air, we were talking about that Antonito penalty miss. And I can remember the Sergio Pellicer press conference talking about it and how we had to get behind the young lad, were his words, and not pile on him too much when he does these things, when he makes mistakes, as all footballers do in their career. Chris, I'm going to ask you a question that may be easy to answer. You may have an already thought of answer in your head, but from that 0-0 reverse fixture back in October, where do you think Malaga have gone? Have they got better? Have they got worse? Or have they stayed the same?
In my opinion, they got worse. I don't know why. But we got worse when Manu Molina got injured. In my opinion, maybe people see it differently, but when Manu Molina got injured, I think that's where things got worse. Manu Molina is back, so maybe we will see a better Malaga as well. I think in a way we got very lucky as well when we played them at home because they were very, very good. I think it's the best football team that has visited La Rosaleda this season.
Sergio, would you agree with that? Would you say they've been our toughest test so far this season?
Yeah, one of the toughest. Yeah, it was a difficult game. I remember they had a massive chance. I think it was 1-1 with Alfonso Herrera. I think he saved, and yeah, I think we were a fair draw, to be honest. Even though I think they were a little bit better, but it was frustrating missing that penalty in the last second. But he was brave enough to take it, and players miss. That's football and that's life. So, yeah. It was a difficult game, difficult opponent, and I expect the same this weekend, even though they've changed manager. And it's a tricky situation for them as well. But them playing at home, also away, that I think it's always tougher when you play away. It's going to be difficult, but we'll have to give it a try.
going back to that question that I asked Chris, do you think Malaga have got worse since that 0-0 draw?
Yeah. I think the turning point for Malaga were Christmas, the Christmas period just before that game against Sporting were brilliant. I think that's been our best form in all season. And after Christmas, everything seemed to come a little bit down. Then the injuries started to come in, players missing games for yellow cards. And that injury from Manu Molina was a huge blow. I think he's been really, really good this season. And happy to have him back because I think he's a key player for Malaga. But we don't have to forget that Malaga's playing with a team really similar to last season's. I think we've improved a lot playing wise compared to last season. I think we're very lucky as well how the table is because I don't think it's normal in this division that 3 teams are practically relegated. But we can't complain for Malaga's season. I think we've been really good, and let's see what we can do in Carlos Tartiere.
I've made a journalistic error. I'm sorry, guys. Chris called me the professional. You can take away that title now. I was talking while I was muted. Apologies. We talked about their form. And, of course, perhaps some of the reasons as to why they may have wanted to sack Javi Calleja. They did lose last time out to Granada, who, of course, themselves haven't had the best of time over the last couple of months. Their top scorer, Alemão, with 13 goals. Other than him, Chris, anyone that stands out to you in that Real Oviedo squad?
Maybe a guy named Santi Cazorla, maybe.
I was fishing.
Yes, 4 assists. Maybe Sebas Moyano, also 4 assists. Yeah, who else? I don't know. I think they have a great squad, don't they?
They've done well. I mean, they're in the playoffs. They deserve to. They're obviously there for a reason. When we look at their squad, I talked about Alemão there, their top scorer. Ilias Chera has 7 goals, and then Haysam Hassan with 3 goals being the next top scorer. Santi Cazorla with 4 goals, Sebas Moyano with 4, like you said there, Chris, and Alemão, of course, with 3 assists.
A lot of former Malaguistas are there, eh?
Yeah.
Because you know a guy with the name of Francisco Portillo?
Yes, I do. I remember him very well.
Paulino de la Fuente?
I do. Another link to Mexico.
Yeah.
Looking at that team and I think switching it to a Malaga point of view, where do you see our weaknesses coming into this game, Sergio? And I want to perhaps point you towards something I've been thinking about probably since I started watching football and perhaps started watching Malaga play in the 2nd division and even the 3rd division as well, is marking at set pieces.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I think it's one of the most important things in this division, set pieces. If you see statistics, probably you could see that a lot of teams get goals and create chances from set pieces. And we have to keep an eye on that as well. Malaga, I think they've been suffering all season is with crosses from the wingers. We need to be careful with that for sure. And I think it's going to be the battle for the midfielder. For the midfield, sorry. I remember they've got a good midfielder. Is it Coffee? Coffee? Yeah, very strong midfielder. And we've got ours. We've got Luismi, that used to play for Real Oviedo as well. And I think the control of the game is going to be the key for this one. And I think we've got the players for it. Luismi and Manu Molina, they're going to be starting for this one for sure. Are going to be key for this game. And I think that if we control the midfield, we've got our chances.
Chris, I've always been, and perhaps this is the English in me, I've always been very critical of Malaga's defending at set pieces. Have you seen it as a real problem this season, or do you think I'm getting a little bit too worked up over it?
I think in a way yes, but also in a way no, because defending we a lot of times we look very solid, but it is true that we almost get a goal against us every week. And I have to say that Don Alfonso Herrero last week also doesn't seem in his best form.
A day I never thought would arrive. We've criticised Alfonso Herrero on the Geary cast.
But that is something he can happen. He is still the Don.
He is.
I mean, there's no other goalkeeper that I would want in this goal than Alfonso Herrero. And we play in the Carlos Tartiere, and that is probably, and I hope you agree with me, after La Rosaleda, the most beautiful stadium in Segunda.
It's definitely up there. I think I've never been there for a game, but I've been to Oviedo and I've been to the stadium, and it's. I think perhaps I've had that fondness to the club with hearing their story and how they've come back from the dead, almost on the brink of going out of existence. And there may be listeners amongst you that are shareholders in Real Oviedo, or were at some point, or had at some point bought shares in the club back when they were almost going into administration, or were about to go out of existence. And I think one of the notes that I've seen that Luke has written down was the size of the club and the sleeping giant aspect, which is something we talk about a lot with Malaga, and a club that we perhaps should see in La Liga in the next few years. Do you think, guys?
Yeah, I do. I think they were really close last season, or getting back there. I think they've been doing their things really good. It's a team that plays very good football, and I imagine that at one point they'll get to La Liga. And there's what you said, it's a very important club in Spanish football. It's there with the sides of Zaragoza, Sporting, Malaga, Racing Santander. And at some point they'll be getting there. And let's see if they can make the playoffs this season. I mean, they're still in a good position for it.
Chris, looking at this from a Malaga point of view, are there any changes you would make to the starting 11 coming into this weekend?
I would love to see Manu Molina back in, together with Luis Me. I would like to see Carlos Puga. That's one player I want to see. I hope we can start with Dioni again, if that was one of your questions. And I think it's very important that Lobete starts again.
Sergio, what about you? I know we talked about earlier on in the week, we talked about Carlos Puga coming back into the starting lineup. Are there any other changes that you would like to see Sergio Pellicer make this weekend?
I think I would go with Pastor at centre back with Nelson. I would put him. What else? Maybe if Antoñito is back and he's fit enough, I will play Antoñito in front of Kevin. And the rest I will leave quite similar. We can't, obviously I will play Puga because Joaquin Gabilondo is out for this one. And I would still stay with Dioni, Lobete in number 10, and La Rubia on the wing. So without not a lot of changes.
How do we come into this game? Because, like you said, we're playing at the Carlos Tartiere, which is a difficult stadium to play at. It's away from home, where perhaps if we look at how Malaga have done away from home this season, it's I think disappointing is a good word to describe our away form. Only 9 draws and 2 victories from 16 games. How would you guys approach this game if you were Sergio Pellicer and you're in that dressing room on the weekend talking to the players? What would be your message coming into this game to the players?
Well, we obviously know it's going to be a difficult game, but for me, you always have to go and try to get the win. I don't think he says anything different of that. I think he always obviously looks for the win, but yeah, we know it's going to be tough. We know that Malaga's always suffered away from home, not only this season or the season before. We've always had a problem of getting 3 points away from home. And yeah, from my perspective, I wouldn't mind a draw right now. And more if the teams below us drop points, I think I would be happy with that. But of course, before the game starts, you need to go and try and get the win.
Chris, if you're in that coaches meeting with Sergio Pellicer, either tomorrow or yesterday or any day this week, and he said, Chris, I want you to put together 3 points of where you think we can do better this season, what would those 3 points be?
What is this for question?
I want to know how you think we can improve, and I know we always talk about how I think when I watch games, I think, and this is easy for me to say because I'm watching it from the comfort of my sofa, but how do you like to see us play?
I think the most important thing is not give 100%, it's giving 200%. Give everything you have on the pitch. Second of all, sometimes let the ball do the work. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? But I think putting hard work, that is everything. If you can't win or things aren't going your way, keep your cool and don't do Isa Marinos. That's one thing, or make stupid tackles, you know what I mean? But work, just work, keep working. And 3 is, I don't know, keep working. I mean, what kind of 3 things can you say? I mean,
no.
It is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I see your point.
Or take a shot from distance, maybe.
Take a shot from distance. Okay.
If you can't create anything.
Yeah.
I think I always like to see a player taking a risk, and there's no harm to come from it. Taking a shot from 25 yards out, you never know what might happen.
Or you could also say, give the ball to Lubet.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, 3 points. I don't know. If you ask me what the problem is with Malaga, it's that we don't create enough chances. But yeah, I mean, if I say to the players, you should create more chances, it's not really a thing, is it? I mean, you can say it, but
you have to tell them how.
Yeah, and I don't know how.
Give the ball to one of our strikers, our 3-syllable name strikers. Lobete or Lobete.
I don't know. So I don't know how, if I knew, I'm sure Sergio Pellicer would know that as well.
Well, there you have it. I think we don't want to flog a dead horse. Chris has said, work hard, and take a shot from 25 yards out.
Yeah.
Or
Herrero from his box.
Yeah, that works. We've seen that work in the past. If you need a moment of magic, send Alfonso Herrero up. Some interesting fixtures around the grounds this weekend. Of course, Malaga not the only team playing. Tenerife playing Granada. Racing de Ferrol, who we just defeated, of course, last weekend, taking on their Galician rivals, Deportivo La Coruña. Real Zaragoza with a tough trip to Racing Santander. And Córdoba taking on Elche, who, of course, will be taking on Malaga very soon, and Cádiz taking on Eibar. So some interesting fixtures. Huesca taking on Sporting de Gijón, the other Asturian team. Guys, I think that just about wraps things up for our preview for Real Oviedo. If there's anything else you want
to add? A prediction?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good one. Sergio, can I get a prediction for you for Real Oviedo versus Malaga?
Yeah. I'm going to go with a typical 1-1 draw, 1-0 for me.
Chris, you can't say 1-0. What are you going for?
I was so going with that. I will make it 0-1 then for Malaga.
Oh, who's scoring?
Lobete.
Who do you have scoring, Sergio?
Luismi against his old club.
Oof, what a story that would be.
I'm chasing the goal scorer.
Oh, who are you going for, Luismi?
No, I'm going for Rocco Baturina in the 85th minute.
Well, I'm sure the travelling fans would love that.
And we will sing Rocco Baturina. Lo, 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 lo.
Well, that just about wraps things up. Thank you very much for joining me, Sergio and Chris, once again, 2 times in a week. I can hardly get enough of you guys, and well, it's been good to be back speaking all things Malaga, and I hope it's been good to have me back.
Alex, can we just find a way, because nothing happens in real professional journalism on Mondays or Tuesdays. Can we maybe see you back more often?
I will try my best. If you can have a word with the federation to maybe postpone Atletico Madrid against Barca next week, I'll see what I can do.
No, that's not a problem. You have to go there. Can we do you have a nice question? Because you're probably going to maybe we can do something funny. Maybe we can come up with a word or a sign or anything that because you always do the interviews after the matches. Maybe you can find a word you have to add in the question. We aren't going to make it very difficult.
Okay.
We won't say cereals or anything like that.
Okay.
Do you have ideas, Sergio?
This I won't say too much because I don't want to give it away. Both of you know.
Yeah.
There is one ex-Malaga player that I will be interviewing this week, and I will perhaps try and slip in a word if I deem it suitable for the moment. What's the word that you want me to slip in?
It's got to be something related with Rocco Baturina.
That's difficult to slip in, and you probably won't know who Rocco Baturina is. It has to do with Malaga, then, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get in. I mean, Malaga is too easy.
It is. It is.
Malaga is too easy, but also very difficult. So we won't put you.
How about La Rosaleda?
Yes, get in La Rosaleda.
Okay.
But is that doable?
It is doable. I've already got a question in my head as to how.
And you already have, but that doesn't count then. It has to be Costa del Sol.
Costa del Sol. Okay, I'll try. I'll try my best. If I do get it in, what's my reward?
Good question.
I get to come back on the Gearcast next week. Well, that just about wraps things up. And not that I want to take any attention away from the Gearcast, but my interview with said former Malaga player, I won't say who yet, will be out on Sporty TV later this week if you want to go and check it out. And
you're now also plugging Sporty TV.
No, but obviously people want to hear former Malaga players, don't they?
No, I think you should. It's very nice. I still don't really get where they broadcast it. Where's it broadcasted, Alex?
In Africa, Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. But most of our content is available to watch around the world. So wherever you get your content, whether that be Indonesia, Japan, the United States of America, most of our content on YouTube is available to watch around the world.
Alex, if I take you now to Nigeria, for example, tomorrow.
Yeah. This has got very far away from Malaga somehow.
Yeah. But and we would land at Nigeria airport.
The well-known Nigeria airport.
Or South Africa.
Okay.
and we walk together on the streets, how many people will say, "Hey, Alex, bow tie, do you can I have a picture with you?"
To be honest, it's hard
Are
to
you
say.
famous there?
To be honest, it's hard to say. I don't. I think, and this is maybe just me being British, but I would be surprised if someone came up to me. But maybe they
Did it
would.
happen to you in any place?
I've had people come up to me and said, "Yes, I've seen you on TV in Spain, but maybe they've seen me there. They've seen my content through someone else." But yeah, it does always surprise me whenever people come up to me and say, "Oh, I've seen you on Sporty TV," and I'm always a little bit taken aback. Obviously, appreciative that they watch the content and have found their way to watching me on some sort of content or form somehow. But yeah, I think a part of me will always be surprised when someone says they've seen me on TV.
But you also recorded a commercial today, right?
I did. I can't say too much about that either, but
But is that the same company?
it's related to the same company, and I don't want to
Okay.
go into it too much now because I don't want to get
No.
myself in trouble. But
No.
I've
Okay.
done some exciting things this week, and hopefully, more to come over the next week. And
Yes.
well, keep your eyes peeled across the GearyCast social media as well as we
Yeah,
take you into.
we are going to post that, retweet that video, of course, when you say the Costa del Sol.
Perfect. So yeah, do keep an eye on all your social media, whether you use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go and follow us, GearyCast, and keep up to date with all the goings on the Costa del Sol. That's me just practicing. Things Malaga Club de Football. Just to finish off, of course, we started off the review podcast with a little review of the weekend for Malaga Femenino and Atlético Malagueño. Malaga Femenino are playing Elche away on Sunday at 11:30, and Atlético Malagueño are at home to Marbella on Sunday at 6:30. And Malaga will be playing Real Oviedo away 4:15 local time. So get yourself in a bar or wherever you watch your Malaga games, and hopefully another 3 points on the horizon for Los Boquerones. But thank you for listening to us today. Thank you for joining me, Sergio and Chris. I've been Alex Ashmore. And until next week, vamos Malaga.
Alex, keep talking. Alex, keep talking.
We're so professional.
I'm joking. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
He's going to get there at some point. Vamos
Yeah.
Malaga. Come on.
I'm not used to doing this.
Send us a message saying Costa del Sol if you've got to this part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Reply to this tweet.
Easter egg.
Costa del Sol.
This is where we filled.
And this is where Chris pressed the ending to our podcast, and we say
I'm trying.
It's not working.
No, it's not working. So maybe you have a joke to tell.
I don't have a joke to tell. I will just have to ad lib and say some random things. But yes, I will be down in the region of Malaga this weekend, actually. So
yes, Alex, we are meeting. Where are we meeting? What are we going to do?
Whatever you would like to do. We can have a few beers along the coast. I will be in the Fuengirola region.
That sounds fun.
I'll be coming down on Friday. And hopefully, I've seen the weather's going to be nice, 22 degrees.
Yes, the weather looks way better than it did last week. Your father is coming?
He is. He's already down there, in fact.
Oh. Very nice.
Chris, you managed to sort out the technology?
I'm there.
You're there.
It's all new. It's all new.
It's all new. Well,
I'm already happy I see a recording because we once recorded an episode which... That's for another day, that story.
I think part of the habit of me now is always looking at that recording button on the left-hand side. But thank you very much for listening. They've been Chris Marquez and Sergio. I've been Alex Ashmore. You've been listening to the GearyCast, and we'll see you next week. But until then, vamos Malaga.